Budapest főváros számára különösen fontos a zöld átállás, a klímavédelem, a levegőminőség javítása. És ebből a stratégiából következik az, hogy nagyon fontos az elektromos zéró kibocsátású közlekedés támogatása is a városban. Mi itt a fővárosi önkormányzatban, ha csak lehet, zöld rendszámú elektromos autókat használunk, és azon dolgozunk, hogy az ehhez szükséges töltőállomások a városban hozzáférhetőek legyenek.
Budapest is not only the capital city of Hungary, but it's one of the biggest hub or metropolitan area of the Central European region. Therefore, we are supplying with infrastructure and mostly transport means almost 3 million people every day commuting for work, studying, or commuting out from the city.
If we talk about electromobility, it's not only the future in Budapest, but it's already the present and even the past. In Budapest, very early, already at the end of the 19th century, a very extensive public transport network started to be developed. It started with the tram network, which was electrified very early, so that's one of the bases of the mobility system here in Budapest. We have a relatively high share of public transport within the modality in Budapest, and electrified trams, electrified underground system, and also electrified trolleybuses are key components of our mobility system. If we talk about the number of the vehicles, it's around 45% of the public transport vehicles are already electrified, which is, I think, a quite high number. But if you talk about the number of passengers, around 61% of the passengers are already traveling with electrified public transport vehicles.
Ezért különösen fontos számunkra, hogy a városi mobilitásban használjuk az elektromos járműveket. Itt a fővárosi önkormányzatnál, a fővárosi cégeinknél is törekszünk ezeknek a járműveknek a használatára, illetve különböző szabályozásokkal, például a parkolási szabályozással is ösztönözzük azt, hogy minél többen használhassák ezeket, és hogy minél több megosztott járművel is tudjunk közlekedni a városban, amelyeknek egy jelentős része szintén zöld rendszámú és kevesebb parkolóhelyet vesznek el a város zöld területeitől.
All the estimates and the trajectories foreseeing a quiet, steady increase in the transportation emission. Therefore, we need to cut back or somehow moderate all the emissions and also the transport and the mobility needs of the city. Both the Sustainable Urban Mobility Plan and the Sustainable Energy and Climate Action Plan are working with these figures, and our target number and figure for decreasing CO2 emission and all greenhouse gas emissions are 40%. So we need to cut back 40%, two-fifths of the emission of today by 2030. This is the challenge, and electromobility is one of the means of cutting our emission and decreasing the pollution, cleaning the air from the air pollution, which is partly attributed to transportation.
Sustainable mobility is a very crucial objective for for Budapest and also for our organization. Of course, to achieve this, we have multiple ways. And we have a Budapest mobility plan which has very clear objectives regarding modal split. But of course, mobility is not a standalone issue. It somehow contributes to higher level objectives regarding climate change, regarding health, and also economic and social objectives of the city. So if we talk about sustainable mobility and electromobility, we need to develop the city's mobility system in accordance with these higher level objectives. And electromobility is a good tool for us to achieve especially the climate objectives of mobility. We would like to change the modal split in the city more in favor of public transport and individual non-motorized transport, and within public transport, electromobility, and also within individual motorized transport, electromobility is a key contributor to our objectives regarding climate change.
Gringo started operation in 2016 in November with 45 vehicles, and we only use electric vehicles, and because that was the whole notion, to get the maximum benefit for car sharing, and we think that electric vehicles are highly suitable for these short trips, because an average rental is 30 minutes, 8 to 10 kilometers. And the combustion engine is very inefficient in these short rides and pollutes the city. And regarding how to ramp up car sharing so it gets to everybody in the city, because we have competitors here in Budapest, but it's not just competition. It's about spreading the whole idea of shared economy and teaching people that you don't have to own something to use something. It's kind of like a joint effort, and we also have a joint promotion with the local transportation company. So it's a competition, but it's a friendly competition. And to spread electric car sharing even more, we have to concentrate on the charging infrastructure, because we don't leave the charging cable in the vehicle. So the available charging points shrink down to the DC chargers where the cable is installed on the charger. But there are a lot of AC slow chargers available in the city, but not usable by car sharing. So all these charging points should be equipped with cables that would show our users how to use an electric vehicle, because now they know about how to drive it, but they don't know how to charge it, how to unplug it.
We have to make sure that all the mobility needs of the people is decreased. So electromobility needs to be shared on one hand. On the other hand, all the transportation needs, which is also freight transport, should be also logistically optimized. And this is one of the other main challenge we have to deal with, and what we are finding solution to, working together with the mobility service providers, with the freight transport vehicle owners, and also road transport and the road managers of the city. This work is also coordinated within the City Hall with the help of our department.
A járművek egy részének nagyon nagy a futásteljesítménye, sok üzemanyagot fogyasztanak, tehát gazdasági megfontolások voltak elsősorban mögötte, kis tehergépkocsikat szereztünk be, ebből több mint 220 darabot üzemeltetünk, és ebből most már 25 darab elektromos tehergépkocsi. Igen, hát a vízművek integrált környezetirányítási rendszert üzemeltet, és elkötelezettek vagyunk a környezetvédelem mellett. Az elektromos járművek mellett egy nagyon komoly napelemparkot is építettünk, ami most már 23 helyszínen üzemel 2 megawatt teljesítménnyel. Az önellátási szintet szoktunk a napelemeknél nézni, most már 5%-nál tartunk, tehát a teljes villamosenergia fogyasztás tekintetében. Ezen kívül gázmotorok vannak a szennyvíztisztító telepen Csepelen, ahol a szennyvízből keletkező biogázzal elektromos áramot termelünk, és a szennyvíztelepnek nagyon nagy az önellátási szintje, tehát termelési oldalról is ott vagyunk a zöld energiában, és az autókkal most már felhasználási oldalon is, a környezetvédelmi céljainkat is ezzel tudjuk teljesíteni. Az elektromos autók legelső felhasználása az a Szentendrei szigeten kezdtük el, ahol az őrség folyamatosan járőrözik, és a szigeten kiemelt környezetvédelmi céljaink vannak, tehát ott is nagyon hasznos ez, hogy nem az üzemanyagot égetjük, hanem elektromos kocsikkal végezzük ezt a járőrtevékenységet a védterületeken.
It's essential in order to have a more sustainable city to transform our logistic system. So what we would like to see more in the city, logistic points where the big lorries can stop and the goods can be moved, transferred from the big lorries to the small electric vehicles, and they can be carried around the city. So in the city's parking policy, which we elaborated together with the City Hall, we would like to designate those kind of areas in a relatively frequent way in the city. So the big lorries should not go around in the city, and really more environmentally friendly and also more sustainable ways of logistics can be introduced using electricity.
Electromobility is not clean without providing clean electricity to be stored in the batteries. Therefore, we have a very grandiose vision about solar power to be supplied into these batteries to fuel and to power the next generation of mobility scheme of Budapest. And this is what we are working on. We have a vision of 1,500 megawatt of solar panels on the roof of Budapest, which will be partly stored in batteries, partly used for mobility services, and obviously it should be powering the whole energy consumption of the people of Budapest.
We were installing these solar cells, and those solar cells are giving to us 200,000 kilowatts in a year. That means roughly 40% of the consumption of the electric buses can come from those solar cells. And this is the one of the reasons that they are helping to electrify those vehicles, to have electricity on those accumulators. And the other is, as you see, that is this functioning as a shelter, this functioning as a covering for the other buses which are here. Here we operate, and here we put the vehicles which are on our nostalgic fleet. And the nostalgic vehicles are without the shelter, maybe can be usable for less years. And that's how we can have good conditions for the nostalgic buses. This is a very good, and this is the most important to have a good approach. on those things, because if you are buying 20, if you are buying 40 electric buses, and those have good accumulators, and you have the possibility to charge them, it's very nice, it's very okay. But where from you have the electricity? What kind of electricity you can give to those vehicles? That is a very big question, and not an easy question, and I think it will be the very interesting question of the next 5 years. How can we storage without the vehicles? Maybe can we storage without the vehicles the energy? In some parts in the night time, in the daytime, and can we put the energy back to the vehicles, or can we put the energy to the vehicles? It's a very big question also for us, and I think you can see it only globally. If you see it globally, maybe you can have got some good results. But I think it will take years.
Our users tend to be more aware of pollution and climate change and how to protect our environment. So we even started a program that our users can spend just a small amount per minute, so they pay a higher fee, but we spend that extra, and we also add our own money into it to plant trees in Budapest, around Budapest, or in the countryside. And we have already planted 500 trees in Budapest within the structure of this program. So we feel that it's our job and responsibility, and it should be every company's job and responsibility to think about how they can contribute to stop the climate change and keep our environment as is and as livable as is. Because we see the effects of climate change in Hungary this summer. June has been the hottest ever. It is starting to be unbearable, so we have to act now.
A napelem parkokat azt jövő évben még tervezzük bővíteni, azt követően itt a szabályozási környezettől függ, hogy mennyire éri meg. Tehát ugye olyan helyeken tudjuk a napelemet telepíteni, ahol helyben el is tudjuk használni. Hogyha ezt a hálózatba visszatápláljuk, akkor már éppen attól függ, hogy a szabályozás hogy néz ki, hogy ez megéri-e vagy sem. Tehát ez az önellátási fok, amit említettem, ez egy nagyon fontos mutatószám, és hogyha mondjuk így a más példákat nézek, mondjuk egy Dániát, ott még magasabb szintre tudnak menni a offshore szélerőművek, ugye nálunk ilyen lehetőségek nincsenek, de folyamatosan tervezünk ebben fejlődni.
Well, the City Hall now is led by people who are taking seriously what was in the program of the mayor when he was running for mayorship. And it was green and participatory. The City Hall is meant to be facilitating all these stakeholders together, if it's needed, in order to work out those schemes, those measures and those business models which would serve green development of the city. And this is what we are here for, this is what we are organizing, and this is what the user-chi is all about.